येन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च। श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। नमो नलिननेत्राय वेणुवाद्यविनोदिने राधाधरसुधापानशालिने वनमालिने महाभावस्वरूपास्त्वं कृष्णप्रियवरीयसी प्रेमभक्तिप्रदे देवी श्रीराधिका त्वं नमोऽस्तुते। Hare Krishna. So welcome all, and today we are going to discuss the third verse of Damodar Ashtakam, where the most important principle of Lord's quality has explained. And that particular quality is how he gets conquered by his own devotees. Bhaktya aveshatam or bhritya vashatam. How he gets overpowered by his own devotees. How he gets controlled by his own devotees. That has explained in this particular verse. So Satyavrat Mani says here, Iti druksva leelabhe Ananda kunde svaghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam. Tadiyashitadneshu bhaktirjitatvam Guna prematastam shatavriti vande. Iti druksvalilabhirananda kunde Svaghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam. Tadiyeshitadneshu bhaktirjitatvam Puna prematastam shatavriti vande. So here Satyavrat Mani says, those super excellent pastimes of the Lord Krishna's babyhood drown the inhabitants of Gokul in a pools of ecstasy. To the devotees who are attracted only to his majestic aspect of Narayana in Vaikuntha, the Lord herein reveals, I am conquered and overwhelmed by pure loving devotion. To the Supreme Lord Damodar, my obeisance is hundreds and hundreds of times. So one thing that Lord wants to clear it to those people who are Tadvidam. Tadvidam means Tam Bhagavantam Vidanti Tesham Tatjnana Paranam. Means the devotees, those who are like Gyanis and who thinks that Lord who resides in Vaikuntha is a great person and no one can conquer him. He is like a Ajaya. But in this verse, Lord himself says that Tadiyeshu tadneshu bhaktirujitattvam. That he wanted to prove to this Jnani is that he is the one who gets conquered by his own devotees. And as I explained in the 10th canto, 11th chapter, text number 9, that darshayam tadvidam loke atmavano bhritya vashata. This particular leela of getting caught by Mother Yashoda and get bound by her to the mortar, he performed that specifically to show that how he himself get overwhelmed and controlled by his devotees. And these pastimes which he has performed, especially in Gokul, they are so attractive. As we have seen that Krishnera Jataka Khela Taramadhya Naralila, Sarvottama Naralila. When he came and performed his pastime as a common human being, and especially those of a childhood pastime, specifically in Vrindavan. Gopevesha Venukara Navakishore Natavara. That he had the form of a Gopa who was very easily approachable. And that time he performed all this wonderful pastime through which we can see that how he has been controlled by the devotees. Like, there are so many pastimes. Like once Mother Yashoda, she tells to Krishna, just go and catch that calf. And Krishna, who was like a 2.5 years old, he goes behind that calf. And when he tries to catch that calf runs away. Then again he runs back and pulls the tail of that calf. And because of fear, that calf runs and he drags Krishna all around the backyard. And that was really fun. Sometimes like a Krishna and Balram, both they goes into the thorny bush to collect some flowers. And they get caught there itself. And after not able to coming out from that bush, they start crying. Here the person who is Sachidananda, who is eternally full of happiness, is crying here. Actually, when Lord comes to Vrindavan and takes this particular form, then he himself forgets his opulence, Aishwarya, Leela Aishwarya. And he behaves like a common child. And that's why sometimes gopis, they try to find it out, who is more powerful, Krishna or Balram. And they used to give them लालच को क्या कहेंगे? आपको समझ में आ गया? हाँ? They used to promise them that whoever used to defeat the other person in wrestling, we will give them a handful of butter. And just for the handful of that butter, they used to wrestle with each other, Krishna and Balaram. And whoever is to get conquered, they used to get handful of butter. Can you imagine? He is the same person whom they called it as a Sarvaloka Maheshwara. He is the one who is the Ishvara, who is the controller of all the planets. And here is getting controlled by the gopis for the handful of butter. Rasakhan in his song he says, Chachiya bhara chhach par hari ko nachave. This gopis, for the handful of a chhach, buttermilk, they used to make him dance, and he used to dance in front of them. Just mere moving of his eyebrows can causes creation of this whole material universes. That same person is getting controlled by the gopis for the handful of achas, buttermilk. So those are his pastimes. And sometimes, for that handful of a butter, they used to ask him, go and get something or run there, and he was ready to do that, He never showed his all opulences there. He just behaved like a common child. Once, it said that Lord Krishna was sitting with the mother after his dinner, and he saw the reflection of moon in one of the water pot. And he saw that moon and he started crying, Mother, I need this to play. And Mother Yashoda was, why do you want this to play? No, I want him. I want to play with this. And she said, no, don't look at it. You know what happened? When there was a churning of milk ocean, what first came? The poison. So that poison has accumulated on his face. So if you play with that, it will be poisonous for you and you will get affected. And Krishna used to get convinced with that. And he never used to ask again for that moon. So he performed such a normal pastimes, like a normal kid, and that's attracted everyone towards him. And that's why he said that iti druk swalilavir ananda kunde. He has created a pool of ecstasy by performing all these activities. Even though he is the source of all incarnation, he is like a Shada Aishwarya Purna. All the Aishwaryas, opulences that he has 100% with him. And such a person is stealing butter from someone's house, And why he doing that? In Padma Puran it is said, Mama Bhakta Vinodartha Kriyate Vividhai Kridaha. Lord says that for my devotee's pleasure, I am performing all these pastimes. That's the sole reason behind that. Otherwise, he won't have to perform all these things because he is Atmaram, He does not need anything from outside to satisfy him. Like there is one wonderful pastime, fruit vendor. Have you heard about that? What you have learned from that?
If we offer something to Krishna, Krishna will give.
Not necessary. Then he will not call as a Hari. Hari means what? Then where is that logic? How Krishna reciprocates, that's most important thing. Like this fruit vendor lady, she heard a lot about Krishna's childhood pastimes. And she got attracted and she had a desire that I wanted to see this Nanda's son, And I want that he should call me as a mother. That was her inner desire. So every day she used to, all the way from Mathura, she used to walk towards Vrindavan. Not exactly Vrindavan actually, they were staying at Chatikara that time. So she used to walk almost like a 6-7 miles all the way. And she used to just keep moving around the Nanda Baba's house so that she can get a glimpse of Krishna. Because sometimes he is busy with his friends, sometimes he is busy with others, sometimes mother is feeding so he is not out. So one day she thought that today without having his darshan, I am not going away from this place. So she just sat next to the Nanda Baba's palace main gate. And she was not moving. From there itself she was just giving a call to everyone. Take a fruits, please come, take a fruits. And Krishna was sitting in mother's lap. So Lala, when he heard about that, immediately jumped out. he took a handful of grains in his small little hands, and he came out and he gave it to that woman. She said, "Take this." She said, "What?" He said, "I want these fruits." She said, "What you are giving me? For these fruits I am giving you this." And he gave that, And that lady was astonished. She was thinking, how come this small child knows this barter system? Because those days they never used to pay money for anything. They used to exchange. So he has seen that whenever mother gets something from someone, she gives them grains. So he took small amount of grains in his hand and he went out. And it was like a few grains, maybe 10 or 12, because other they just fall off from his hand. And he went and he gave it to her. And she was so happy. She said, "Lala, do one thing." He said, "Yes." "Can you call me as Maya?" And Lala he started looking here and there. If nobody is looking at them, then he can say. If someone looks, then it will be like something else, So he looked here and there, then he saw nobody is there, then he said, "Maya, can you give me some fruits?" And she started crying. Then she said, "Lala, come and sit in my lap." She went and he sat in her lap. And then he said, "Now give me fruits." So she started giving all the fruits, and she filled his hands with the fruits. And Lala, with a big smile on his face, he took that fruits and he came inside. And Mother Yashoda was surprised. She said, "Hey, from where you bought all this? Every day I heard that you steal some butter and other things, and today fruits? From where you got this?" He said, No, I bought it. Outside there is a fruit vendor, and I gave her grains and she gave it to me." Then Maya, she said, "Okay, distribute to everyone," because she was sitting with other gopis. So they started picking up one by one. But they saw that they are picking up one from that fruits, but again his hands are full with the fruits. So they were totally surprised. And here that lady, she started thinking that she was just actually totally in the pool of ecstasy. She forgot everything. She took that basket, put that grains into that, whatever few grains were there, she put it in that basket, and she kept that basket on her head and she started walking. As she walked by, as she was going away from Nanda Baba's house, she was feeling that her basket is becoming heavier and heavier. Then as she reached near the Yamuna, it was really difficult for her to carry that basket, Then she kept it down and she said, "What was there inside? He gave me just few grains, and why it is so heavy?" And then she just opened it up because she covered it with a cloth. She saw it is filled with rubies, diamonds, and all the jewels. She started lamenting, "Alas, I supposed to get love for Krishna, and what I got? All these worthless stones." And she just put all that stone into Yamuna. And with the ecstasy of her love, she kept walking and went to her house. So this is what happened. Even though Krishna, he gives, but what he gives? He gives that thing which you can't fathom, So these are the wonderful pastime that Lord has performed when he was a child in Vrindavan. So one day what happened? Lord Shiva, he wanted to have a darshan of Lala. So he came all the way from Kailas to Nanda Baba's house. And he asked he asked Maya that, "I wanted to see your child." So Maya got scared. She said, "You look so horrible." Because he is like putting that Vagra charma on his body, he's having that ashes and all these locks of hair on the head. He was looking so ugra, ferocious actually. She said, "I myself get scared of your form. If my Lala sees you, then he will cry like anything. So just go away from here. Lord Shiva, he came all the way from Kailas to see the Lord. So he said, I'm not going unless and until I see him. So he just, same like that fruit vendor, he sat near to the Nanda Baba's house and started chanting the name of Lord. And inside, Lala came to know that Lord Shiva has come. And he started crying. He started crying so ferociously, everyone got scared. So one of the elderly gopis, she said, it's better that you go take your child to that Yogi Baba. Otherwise, he will do some black magic and your child will be crying like a rest of his life. It's better to go and show him that child. Then what she did, in soup, what they call in English, they don't have actually. So in the soup, she took the Lord, put a black cloth on that, put Lord on that, covered him with the black cloth, again put some kala tika on his forehead so that evil eye should not come on him. And then with that soup she came out. And then as soon as she came out, Lord Shiva got up from his place. And he stood there and he started glorifying Krishna. As he started glorifying Krishna, the child stopped crying. Her mother was surprised. Then it said that then that yogi, he told Maya, don't worry, I will be staying just next year only. So anytime he gets some black eye, you get him to me. I will get him rid of all that sort of thing. So it says that Yogi chalo Nanda Bhavane Yashomati Maya tumhe bulave. Vaake lala ko nazar lagi hai pai pai te pai rai noon karave. रह रह योगी नंद भवने ब्रज में वास सदा तू कीजो जब जब वाको लाला रोवे तब तब दर्शन दीजो. The gopis, they told him that, hey yogi, don't go anywhere. Whenever Yashoda Maya calls you, you come. Stay somewhere nearby here only. And whenever this lala cries, you come and spread out this mustard seeds. And take out that evil eye from him and give your darshan to Lala. But here we know that who wants whose darshan, who was literally crying from their heart to see whom. So these are the wonderful pastimes, the Lord has performed. Actually, whenever Lord Krishna, he used to go to bed, before that, Yashoda Maya used to tell him stories. Which stories? Yes, exactly. Because she was desiring that my Lala should be obedient like Lord Rama. So she used to tell him all the stories. So one day she was telling him a story. She told that there was a king, and Krishna said, And his name was Dasharath. And he had like 4 sons. And one day, Vishwamitra came. And he was desirous to protect his performance of yajna. So he came and he asked Maharaj Dasharath that, I want your son. And when Maharaj Dasharath heard that, he wanted a Ram to go along with him and kill all these demons. He said, I can't give him. Then Vishwamitra said, you have to keep your words, because you gave me the words that whatever I ask you are going to give me. Then he looked at Vasishtha Muni, and Vasishtha Muni said, give him, because it's not difficult for Vishwamitra to kill that demons, He's a great hero, and he knows all the weapons, how to use them. But still, he has come, means there is a specific reason. Because when last time Lord Shiva came to see Lord Ramachandra. He came as a Shankar Pandit, as like an astrologer. And he wanted to see that child and know about his future. So that time, Lord Shiva, he told Mother Kausalya, remember, whenever Vishwamitra will came, so he will come for the reason, and that reason will be the marriage of Lord Ramchandra. And then Vasishtha Muni reminded that thing to Dashrath Maharaj. And Dashrath Maharaj said, okay, no problem, take him. Then, after killing those demons, Vishwamitra, along with Lord Ramachandra, they came to Mithila. And Maharaj Janak, he kept one Shiva Dhanusha there. And that was for Sita Swayamvar. And whoever can put a pratyanja on that bow, his daughter will get married to him. As she was telling them, then Krishna was saying, And then And for that Swayamvar, the kings from all over the earth, they came. But they were not able to do that. Only Lord Ramachandra, he went and he just broke that Shiva Dhanusha. Then Vishwamitra came and so many things happened. And as she was telling all these stories, Krishna in between he used to ask with the interest, then what happened? Then what happened? Then Mother Yashoda told him that just to follow the order of his father, Lord Ramachandra went to the forest. And there Ravana came and he kidnapped Mother Sita. As soon as he heard that Ravana has kidnapped Mother Sita, he jumped off the bed and he said, where is my bow? I'm going to kill Ravana. Lakshman, get my bow, get my bow. So Mother was surprised. She said, hey, what happened? All of a sudden, from where Lakshman has come? I never spoke about Lakshmana, and why is saying that? Actually, Rupa Goswami Pad, he is narrating this story. And he says, I worship that Lord who, with the mood of Lord Ramchandra, jumped off the bed and started calling to Lakshmana. So these are the wonderful pastime that Lord performed as a child in Vrindavan. And as he has a deep love for the Vrajavasis, so he never showed any Aishwarya in front of them. Sometimes he showed it, but that Aishwarya was overpowered by the relationship rather than that Aishwaryas, And whenever Lord's Kripa Shakti that's manifests, then all other Shaktis, they go away. And all the pastime that Krishna has performed in Vrindavan, those are out of his mercy. And that's why here he says that Iti druk swalilabhir ananda kunde swaghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam tadiyeshu tadneshu bhaktir jitatvam punha prematas tam shatavrati vande. I offer my hundreds and hundreds of obeisances to that Lord who gets conquered by his own devotees. And after glorifying Lord, his pastimes, his qualities, now in the next verse, Satyavrata Mani is going to ask something from the Lord. And what he is going to ask, that we will discuss on next Saturday. So be inquisitive and about what he is going to ask. So we will discuss that on next Saturday. Hare Krishna. Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki